Stock car racing here on Premier Sports. This week the action's on the tarmac at Northampton International Raceway. Tricky conditions greeting the drivers with a sudden downpour 2 hours before the start of the meeting, leaving the track staff having to pump water off the racing surface. But still a fine field of almost 40 brisca F1s here to do battle, supported by super stocks and national hot rods. Some of the top tarmac drivers in the sport are here today. A rare visit from the super stocks from the south and east up to the Midlands to race here at Northampton. A cracking evening's racing in prospect on one of the spiritual homes of British stock car racing. 3 heats for the brisca Formula Ones following the 2/3 format will feature in part 1 of the programme, then the finals and the brisca F1 Grand National in our second part here this evening at Northampton. We get underway then with heat number 1 for the brisca Formula 1 stock cars. 2/3 of the entry out in this one, each driver racing in 2 out of the 3 heats. World champion is out in this one, Frankie Wainman Jr. and his son Frankie Jr., aka Frankie JJ in treble 5. Also out there we've got veteran campaigner Rob Cowley, number 73 there at the front of the yellow tops. Lee Fairhurst, who won the European Championship in similar conditions to this a few years ago at Northampton. Tom Harris and Nigel Green out there as well among the names to watch further back in the pack. 259 Paul Hines alongside 207 Ben Herdman heading the Reds. The lone white grader at the front of the field is number 301 Mark Allen. The Audi pace car pulling out of the way. We're about to go racing over 16 laps, 19 cars out there on track for brisca F1 heat number 1. Very slippery out there, as you can see. The track was flooded by a massive rainstorm 2 hours before the start. The track staff have done wonders to pump the water off the raceway. We can go racing here at Northampton International Raceway. We're underway with heat number 1. Away goes Mark Allen, number 301, the man from Sussex. The ex-Mark Peters car leads them off. Rob Cowley sideways there, could lose second place to 195 Dean Whitwell. He comes through on the inside. Also in there we have got 183 of Steve Whittle, one of the blue graders. That's Frankie JJ being sent wide into the fence on turns 3 and 4. Whitwell in second place, then it's Whittle. Early moves made by one of the blue tops, that's Luke Davidson. We lose Mickey Randall in 172, he's spun aside. Luke Davidson, the first blue top. Ben Herdman, the first red in 207. The race starts to settle in, it seems sliding around there. There's the world champion with the gold roof, number 1, and Frankie Wainman Jr. At Coventry last season. After going in there, Drew Lamas being taken wide in 5:43. Big hits going in. Ben Herdman is hitting everything in sight and whallops. Straight in goes 183. Steve Whittle, courtesy of the front bumper of the 207 car. And a change up front. 464 Luke Davidson has taken over from Mark Allen on lap 4. Steve Whitwell in 3rd place, then it's Herdman up into 4th. Nigel Green we're on board with on the attack on the back of Lee Fairhurst, the former world champion in 217. That's about as much as the drivers can see here at Northampton in this opening race. Hopefully conditions will dry as the race goes on. Luke Davidson is obviously on the fastest lap of the race as he leads the way. Higher graders moving up fairly quickly into the lead positions here. There's Lee Fairhurst, now up in 2nd place. Steve Whittle a lap down after he hit the wall earlier on, courtesy of Ben Herdman. Nigel Green up into 3rd in 4:45, the Leicestershire driver. Fairhurst has just done the fastest lap, coming into lap 2:04. Mark Cooper making a return after many years away from brisca F1 in one of Matt Newson's hire cars. He started at the back of the grid for this one. Still Luke Davidson leading by almost a second ahead of Fairhurst. Then it's Green, Tom Harris, Ben Herdman and George Elwell. Here he is in 5:01 under pressure from the world champion Frankie Wainman Jr. Tom Harris there in car 84 gets the bumper in on Nigel Green. We're on board with Mark Cooper in 2:04. Looks like he's slowing up, just feeling his way back into the sport. Hasn't raced for a long time. Tom Harris now with the quickest lap of the race. He's on the tail of Lee Fairhurst for 2nd, Nigel Green behind him, but they're all falling well behind Luke Davidson here in 4:64, another former European champion. Lee Fairhurst gets some bump up from Tom Harris. He's going to go through into 2nd place. Nigel Green up there as well. Good 3-way scrap for 2nd, but you can see the gap to Davidson. It's now 3/4 of a second. Behind this lot's Ben Herdman is 5th, then Junior Wainman 6th, George Elwell, Paul Hines, Frankie JJ recovering from his first turn excursion, and Stuart Shevell rounding out the top 10. Leaders lacking Mark Cooper in 2:04. Mark Allen about to go a lap down as well. There's 5 laps to go for Luke Davidson in 4:64. Tom Harris catch him. Down the home straight they come, 5 laps to go, shown by the start marshal on the rostrum. Nigel Green putting Lee Fairhurst under pressure for 3rd place. The leader laps Rob Cowley, a veteran of over 40 years of motorsport, in his final season this year. I believe his son Chris will take over that car next year. Chris having a year out of racing this year. The leader comes up on Ben Riley in 4.22. 5.18 Stuart Shendell goes a lap down as well. Nigel Green off the curb there at turn 2 as he tries to attack Lee Fairhurst for 3rd place. See the puddles there on the inside where the water has been swept earlier on. Away goes Luke Davidson. A couple of laps to go now for the 464 car, coming up to lap Tristan Jackson in 1:01. Lead now over a second as the cars behind thread their way, should have been bumped to their way through the back markers. Into his last lap then goes Luke Davidson, the man from near Manchester. That's going in there, fires Drew Lammers and Tristan Jackson wide. They tangle up on the outside of turn 2. It's going to be a win for Luke Davidson in 4.64. Tom Harris is not going to get close enough on the last lap. Here they come out of the final turn. Luke Davidson confirms his love of Northampton, taking the win. 2nd place goes to Tom Harris. 3rd is Nigel Green, ahead of Lee Fairhurst. We'll wait to confirm the rest of the runners there. Those 4 way ahead of their opposition. Who's finished in 5th place. No doubt about your winner though, 4.64. Luke Davidson in the J. Davidson Scrap Metal Team car. And again, most of the cars in brisca F1 carrying their name these days. As the red flags go out on our first race here at this wet and slippery Northampton. And Luke Davidson with a straightforward victory over Tom Harris. 0.4 of a second, the margin in the end. Then Nigel Green, Lee Fairhurst and Ben Herdman, whilst he rounded out the top 5 ahead of the world champion Junior Wainman. His son Frankie JJ in the top 10 as well. Tom Harris with a succession of fastest laps in that one. So dominance there from Luke Davidson up front. Tom Harris not quite able to catch him.
4.64 Luke Davidson, winner of Heat 1 at Northampton. That was tricky out there.
Yeah, slow was faster, if that makes sense, in that race. Just kept it together, kept it neat and tidy, and we got the win.
As long as you keep it pointing forward, you're always in with a chance in these conditions.
Yeah, that's the one. As I say, the slower you are, the faster you are in them conditions. It looks like it's going to dry now for the next, well, maybe for next heat for the final. So we'll get some tyre swaps. We've got another heat yet, so we'll see what we can do in that one.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Heat 2 for the brisca Formula 1s. Then some of these cars were out in Heat 1 and some weren't. 2 white graders weren't. Off the front there, Richard Davies and Jacqueline Ellis in 2.19. Lee Fairhurst out in this one, so is Stuart Smith, using his Shale car tonight. The tarmac car suffering engine damage at Skegness at the UK Open. Also out there we've got Danny Wainman, Bradley Harrison. Ryan Harrison's out in this one as well, Matt Newson as well. Those are just some of the names to look out for from further back on the grid. We're on board with Bradley Harrison in the number 25, starting alongside Danny Colliver in number 468. The Londoner, there's Frankie JJ in treble 5, and also George Elwell in 501. The track just a little drier for this heat number 2. You can see where the water was swept onto the infield as we start to get underway with this brisca F1 heat number 2. 19 cars out there, 16 laps will be the distance. Away we go with heat 2. Bradley Harrison already under 5, and taken sideways down the straight there. 3.25 Richard Davies and Jacqueline Ellis in 2.19. The leading lady of brisca F1 lead the way. Lee Whitwell in 3rd place in 1.95. By the look of it, ahead of 1.72 Mickey Randall, and then Steve Whittle in 1.83. There's Ryan Harrison flashing through in 1.97, the former silver top national points champion. Ellis, who's got the early lead. 4.22 Ben Riley coming through nicely in the early stages, charging past the Blue Graders. Ellis leads ahead of Whitwell. Richard Davies dropping back. That looks like Frankie JJ ends up in the 3rd place in the white car with the blue top. Yes, he's up to 3rd ahead of Mickey Randall, then Richard Davies, George Elwell and Sean Webster, the former saloon stock car world champion in number 48 is next. Pete Whitwell attacking for the lead as they come out of turn 4. It's going to be 3 wide as they go into turn 1 almost. Frankie JJ up the inside in treble 5. Yes, he goes through and takes the lead away from Dean Whitwell and Jacqueline Ellis, leaving them to battle for 2nd place. Ben Riley, the leading red top, is up into 4th place. Pulling off there, Danny Colliver in 4.68, he retires. So it's Frankie JJ, multiple champion in national mini stocks. That was his sister Phoebe. She's now in action, of course, in the V8 Hot Stocks formula. It's Frankie JJ who leads the way. His first win last year in a Grand National at Birmingham, so he likes the Inca Race tarmac. Ben Riley up into 2nd place now in 4.22. 195 deep, Whitwell goes down to 3rd place. Frankie JJ was taken into the wall early on in Heat 1, fought back to 8th place. Heat 2 hang on in front. Red Tops and Superstars taking longer to make their move this time, with the exception of Ben Riley. Lee Fairhurst with the fastest lap of the race in 2:17 so far. He's in 5th position. There's Matt Newsom coming through in the pink number 16 car. Lee Fairhurst is up to 4th, so he could be the one to watch in the closing stages here. We're coming up to halfway in this heat number 2. First 2 going clear now. JJ and Ben Riley in 4.22. Matt Newsom passing Dean Whitwell. He's got Stuart Smith on his tail. Now Stuart he's normally leading by now on 2017 form, but racing his shale spec car today, the tarmac car, as we said, suffering a damaged engine up at Skegness on the UK Oak Track, so unable to race his main tarmac car here today, so may not see Stuart Smith at the sharp end. First 2 still clear of their opposition. Ben Riley chasing Frankie JJ. A couple of seconds in it last time through, but it's closed back up again now. Matt Newsom being closed down by Stuart Smith in 3.90. Ahead of them Ryan Harrison in 1.97. A very quiet race for him. Just a quiet achiever through the field, really. There go the leaders across the line. The lap board being displayed, 5 to go. Just about to see it through the rain on the camera lens. Frankie JJ ahead of Ben Riley, who's close to within less than 4/10 now. He's on the bumper of the treble 5 car. Ben Riley may be poised to attack here. 3rd place is still Fairhurst ahead of Ryan Harrison now in 4th. Is Ben Riley going to lunge in, or is he going to wait until the final turn of the race? This is going to be close between these two. It's just between these two now, although if they tangle, Lee Fairhurst will take over. 3 laps to run. Riley on the inside. Fairhurst is closing, but I think he's going to run out of time to join this battle. Down the back straight they come. Ryan Harrison there in 4th place in 1.97. 2 laps to run. Frankie JJ and Ben Riley. Riley has a look there going into turn 1, didn't connect at the back of the treble 5 car. They're coming up to lap Steve Whittle in 1.83. Ben Riley tries to lunge in, he's not close enough this time. It's going to be close. We're going into the last lap. I'm sure we're going to see a big lunge on the last bend from Ben Riley. Doesn't attack into turn 1, he's just limbering himself up. Is he going to stuff him into the back marker here? Here they come down towards the final bend. Ben Riley is going to lunge in goes the bumper, he hits the back of the treble 5, who gets it sideways, smokes the tyres. They're going to finish side by side, up to the line, very close indeed. I think Junior just held it over the line there from Ben Riley. Frankie JJ, I think, just held it. We'll confirm that in a moment. Very close between the two of them, and a tangle across the line there. 2 of the yellow tops, that is Mickey Randall and I think Dean Whitwell. They've tangled out of the final turn. But Frankie JJ in treble 5, I think, just held it ahead of Ben Riley there. He rode out the last bend lunges. There we see it from the outside. Got his foot down and held it very nicely indeed. So Frankie JJ confirmed as your winner. Makes up for hitting the wall in Heat 1. Taking the win ahead of Ben Riley. Can't tell you the margin because Ben's transponder wasn't working. Lee Fairhurst in 3rd ahead of Ryan Harrison. Good result for George Elwell in 5th. Stuart Smith making it up to 7th at the wheel of his shale car. Lee Fairhurst it was who got the fastest lap in that one. So a cracking battle there between Frankie JJ and Ben Riley. The treble 5 car coming out on top.
555, Frankie JJ, winner of Heat 2 at Northampton. Just,
yeah, it was a really good race. Me and Ben Riley got to the front really quickly, and he was behind me the whole race. We were similar speed, and towards the end, he got clipped on a back marker once, and he went for the last bend lunge. I just beat him over the line, but brilliant race by him. Hats off to him.
And you're temporarily down to blue, I'm sure. I don't think you'll be blue for long, so you're going to enjoy it while you can. Yeah,
got to make the most of it. Try to get away at the front as many races as possible, and I'm hoping to be back to red. I didn't want to drop to blue, but there's some really good talent coming into the sport, and they scored more points than me.
Yeah, blue's a very, very hard grade, hardest of the lot, everybody says.
Yeah, I was never a fan of it when I raced minis, but this is the first time I've been blue in F1s. I went straight from yellow to red, and I'm actually enjoying it. You've not got superstars right behind you. It's scary when they're behind you, some of them, but no, I really enjoyed the race and happy with the outcome.
Well, best of luck for the rest of the meeting.
Thank you very much.
Sun is out as we get ready for heat number 3 for the brisca F1s. All these drivers in their second race of the day. Tristan Jackson and Richard Davies leading the grid away for this one. We've got 4 white graders out there this time. There's Ryan Harrison, Matt Newson out there as well. Also Danny Wainman, Tom Harris, Luke Davidson, Heat 1 winner, Stuart Smith as well. Nice bit of sliding there as he warms his tyres there, Ryan Harrison. Nigel Green as well, likewise. No Frankie JJ for this one. He's completed his 2 heats. We'll sit this one out and get ready for the final. 20 cars on track for this heats at number 3. Riding alongside Nigel Green with Stuart Smith next to us in 390. Quartet of white graders leading the round. The pace car will pull in off the back straights. Tristan Jackson and Richard Davies left to lead the field around to the green flag. Another 16 laps coming your way. Final in part 2 of the programme will be all in. There's Jacqueline Ellis in the yellow car, number 219. Mark Allen behind her as we get underway with heat number 3. Green flag waves, away they go down towards turn 1. Somebody very sideways already there. That was Sean Webster in number 48, being taken wide by Luke Davidson in 464. Another fast start for him. Stuart Smith gets fired wide by Nigel Green and Danny Wainman. Tom Harris falling back there as well as the superstars and red tops start to go into battle early on. Matt Newson making a break from them in car number 16. We're on board with Nigel Green in 445. Gets the bumper in on Danny Colliver in the 468 car, and Green gobbling up a whole procession of cars there coming round turns 1 and 2. He's made a flying start. He's on the back of Luke Davidson now, and he's in among the yellow tops because there's Rob Cowley in number 73. The race has settled down then with Tristan Jackson leading in number 101. There he is. Relative newcomer to brisca F1, has only made about 3 or 4 appearances. I believe he's an ex-Superstocks racer. Memory serves me correct. Second place is Jacqueline Ellis, third Mark Allen in 301. So the white grade has been able to get away at the front of this one. So they're the foxes in this one. The rest of the drivers, the hounds, who have to chase them down. Junior Wayman under fire from Nigel Green. They tangled up and into the fence on turn 3. Nigel Green launching an attack there on the world champion. It didn't work. They've taken each other out into the fence on turn 3. Let's see that from Green's point of view. He tried to go up the inside, just caught the rear corner of Junior Wayman, and in they went. Wayman hitting the fence backwards. That's ruined it for the world champion. It's not been his evening so far. I think they've managed to get going again. Yes, Wayman getting going again. Green's back in the action as well. But that's a great shame after Nigel Green's early charge through the order there. Still your leader is number 101, Tristan Jackson, ahead of Mark Allen. Luke Davidson is now up to third in 464. Jackson, Allen, Davidson, then Matt Newson in 4th place. Here's the battle for 2nd place. Tom Harris has moved through, in fact, into 4th place. He goes through to 3rd now. Apologies there, it's Tom Harris next in the order, not Matt Newson. There's Newson. He's got the now lapped car of Nigel Green ahead of him. Green attacking Luke Davidson. I don't think Luke realises that Nigel's a lap down. Taken wide there, allowing Matt Newson to come through in the 16 car. The Union flag is out. That means halfway. 8 laps gone and 8 to go. See, the track has dried out, particularly on the inside line. Still your leader is Tristan Jackson by a very impressive margin as well. He could be in for a surprise here. Tristan Jackson looking for his first ever brisca F1 race win. Tom Harris is now in 2nd place ahead of Davidson. It's Newson, Danny Wainman and Ryan Harrison. Board with Bradley Harrison in number 25. And Mark Allen pulling off there in 301 onto the centre. There is our lead, Tristan Jackson in 101. Just lapped Danny Colliver in 468. 5 laps to go. Tom Harris in 2nd. Danny Wainman next, he's under fire there from 197 of Ryan Harrison. Too many Harrises and Harrisons in this sport, I think sometimes. Tristan Jackson though out in front. Can he hang on? Davidson is still there in third, ahead of Danny Wainman and Ryan Harrison. Good scrap going on between those two. Down into turn 3 ahead of Matt Newson, then we've got Sean Webster. 3 laps to go and Tom Harris has now caught our race leader. Very rapid pace over the last couple of laps. He's going for the inside on turn 2 and through he goes into the lead. Tristan Jackson momentarily caught behind the back marker. Richard Davies there. And that's allowed Tom Harris to come through into the lead. Nigel Bree has gone through as well. He's a lap down, of course, after his tangle with Junior Wainman earlier on. We're with him. Out of turn 2. He's not holding the leaders up. Sliding out wide on the turns to let them through. Tristan Jackson still in second. Is he going to hang on for a top place? Or Matt Newson going past him there. Jackson starting to fall back on the last lap now, and it's going to be a win for number 84, Tom Harris. Across the line to take the checkered flag, well clear of second place. I think that's Danny Wainman in second, ahead of Luke Davidson, then Matt Newson and Ryan Harrison. So Tristan Jackson eventually falling back in the last couple of laps, but a brave effort from the white grader. At one stage like he was going to take his first ever win, but he reckoned without the speed and determination of the former world champion Tom Harris in number 84. He'll head round to collect his trophy and the spoils of victory ahead of Danny Wainman. It looked like it was in second place. Confirm the rest of the result then. Harris the winner ahead of Danny Wainman by nearly 3 seconds in the end. Davidson third ahead of Newson, Ryan Harrison and Sean Webster, with Tristan Jackson falling back into 7th place, 1 place ahead of Stuart Smith. Danny Wainman with the fastest lap of the race in that one as well. Good effort by Tristan Jackson, but your winner was Tom Harris.
84 Tom Harris. It's been a while since we said this, but race winner.
Yeah, it has been a while. I've had a terrible start to the year. I was lucky to make that heat actually. We blew the gearbox in the first race. So we've swapped shafts and made a good one out of 2 to get us out for that. And it was rust issues and tyre change, and yeah, it was really good then. The car was good.
Yeah, the track's drying out, so it's getting faster now as well, but that means the hits are going to get a bit harder, and you've been giving that out a bit.
Yeah, it's tricky in these conditions because you haven't got to hit people hard to get them in the wall because it's so slippy offline like. So if you treat people with respect and people give you respect, you give it back. If they don't, then they get fired in.
And final next year, we're hoping for a win in that one.
Yeah, it'd be nice actually. We, like I said, we struggled this year. Well, we've been struggling this year. We've spent a bit of time in the car this week and some improvements, and hopefully it's worked.
Thank you very much. Good luck.
Thank you.
Now, what on earth have we got here? We have a mobility scooter on the raceway. This is Noel Wilson, a former circuit racing instructor, and he is raising money for the Multiple Sclerosis Society through his charity Motorsport for MS. What Noel is trying to do is visiting as many motorsport venues in the UK as possible and recording a timed lap of each one. This is his first attempt at a short oval. So he's got to do 1 lap, a time lap of Northampton International Raceway on his 8-mile-per-hour mobility scooter. Let's see what time he can record here. The pace car has pulled off, he's underway. Got his wet weather tyres on there. Look, they're Dunlop wets, I'm told. So away goes Noel Wilson. Been visiting a whole variety of different motorsport venues around the UK, everywhere from regular race circuits like Silverstone and Thruxton, and he recently did the Isle of Man TT course as well, all 37 miles of it. Don't know how many times he had to charge his battery up to do that one. His lap time was 4.5 hours around there. Now, a national hot rod can lap this track in 15 seconds, so we'll see how close his lap time is to that. He's getting a good pace on down the back straight here. The mobility scooter liveried in the colours of a Le Mans LMP2 car, we're told, that chrome blue wrap on it. He's getting a good pace up here. This is good stuff from Noel Wilson. His target this year is to raise £20,000 for the Multiple Sclerosis Society through Motorsport for MS. Here he comes around at turn 4, taking a nice tight line through the puddles on the inside. He's coming up towards the checkered flag. His battery hasn't run out. The first ever time lap by a mobility scooter here at Northampton International Raceway. He's coming up to the checkered flag, and he's there. So the checkered flags go out, and we'll see what his lap time is. A time of 1 minute 27.937, 8.188 miles an hour. That's pretty good. by Noel Wilson.
Noel Wilson, you've just done your first ever lap of a short oval at Northampton. Could you tell everybody why?
We're doing it for MS. It's to raise money for MS. I'm actually going round the circuits doing lots of different circuits. At the moment I hold records for 13 different circuits, Silverstone, Brands Hatch, those sort of places. So we don't just want to do the big circuits, we want to do the short ovals. We'd like to do sort of Santa Pod, Speedway. We've done a couple of hill climb courses as well, so we're trying to do everything really.
And like you said, it's for MS, and it's certainly an unusual thing to do. And I believe you've done the Isle of Man TT as well.
Yeah, we've just come back from the Isle of Man. We did that at Easter. We did the full TT course, all 37.7 miles of it. And we also did, while we were there, the Southern 100 course as well. So that gave us 2 times there as well.
Well, it's certainly a brilliant, brilliant thing that you're doing, and we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you very much.
So well done, Noel Wilson. More good racing coming up after this short break from the brisca F1s and the Superstocks. Don't go away. Welcome back to Northampton International Raceway, about to get into the finals, but first of all, Richard Barwick caught up with the leading lady of brisca F1, Jacqueline Ellis.
219 Jacqueline Ellis, welcome to sunny Northampton. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm a 24-year-old stock car racer. Just started Formula 1s this year. I've raced Formula 2s, MR2s, mini stocks. First I started out with mini stocks, but I brought up around bangers. And then, like I say, through the week I'm a joint replacement clinical sports specialist. And then on the weekend, we do the stock car racing. So through the week I fix people, and then on the weekend I fix cars. So
And the average viewer will have noticed you're not just the average stock car driver. What got you into Formula 1?
I'm third generation. My dad raised my mum, my granddad and everything like that. But to be fair, it was Lee mainly that kind of gave me that little push. He said, "Oh yeah, do you want to come and have a go in Daniel's car and in his car just on a practice day?" I was like, "Yeah, all right then." So I went out and I absolutely fell in love with it straight away. It was the horsepower and the adrenaline just got like hooked straight away. So it was kind of him and that. And when I went to Cyprus with Lee, my dad sent me a text as soon as I'd arrived. He waited until I'd left and actually bought me an F1. And he was like, "Right, okay, yeah, Jack, you're racing F1." So I was like, "Oh, that's nice. Enjoy your holiday."
You're not afraid to get stuck in and actually mend the car. We've seen Facebook videos of you changing gearboxes and stripping gearboxes. That's a good side to have.
Yeah, I've been doing it since all my life, really. Like I did my first drive shaft on a Peugeot 306 GTI when I was 7, I think it was. So I've always been properly stuck into fixing things, and I think that's what got me into joint replacement in the hospitals, because like you're fixing people, fixing cars, same kind of thing really. Apart from if you break a person, you can't really hit it with a hammer. I do love getting stuck in the garage. I said I like to go and do things myself on the car, because then I know what it is and I know what goes on, and then when I'm driving it I feel like I'm more connected and I feel like I know exactly what's going on around the car. So if I just kind of like arrive and drive, then I wouldn't feel 100%.
And there is a growing number of young women in oval racing, certainly coming up through the mini stocks and into the Formula 1s. That's got to be good for the sport.
100%. The more women the better, because there's always been a stigma around racing, and I've had it said to my face where, this isn't really for you, and it just makes you want to do it even more, because it's just like, why? Just give me a good reason why we shouldn't do it, and then we'll not, because inside we're all the same. You know what I mean? Like the heart's all the same. It's just the outside that we just modelled a bit differently. But no, to see more girls coming through is absolutely fantastic, and to try and do everything that we can to show. But me mainly is one of my passion to show that women can do it. It doesn't matter, like with the gearboxes we're doing in the garage, everything you can, we can do it. You just need to prove that we can do it and just stick it to the man.
What ambitions have you got? How far do you see yourself going? Obviously you are on a budget.
Yeah, I'm on a massive budget at the minute. Like, but I say massive, I mean like really, really restricted. So like I have to budget really, really, a lot. So I'd like to get to at least the blue top, maybe even red, but like I say, it just, at the minute, we are struggling a little bit. We're just, like I say, getting as good a bits on the car as we can, but like I say, we're just making everything ourselves. We're just trying to go against what people are saying, it's a money sport, just saying like, okay, you can, if you put your heart and soul into it, you can actually make a car to do it, and like we've done it because it's there, you know what I mean? Like there's so many bits on there we haven't bought, we've made it, like with the help of Lee and Derek as well, and like my second family, and like I say, my dad, I won't be able to do it without my dad, because he's just awesome.
Now you've mentioned Lee, obviously he's your boyfriend at the moment. Does that end when you get on track?
Oh yeah. When no mates past the gates. And I know for a fact, if he did not make that bed that Monday, I swear to God he's going in that fence.
And lastly, what advice would you give to any young girls that are watching that are thinking of getting into motorsport?
Yeah, don't think about it. If you've got, I've always had this thing that if you had a dream about it or you've thought about it, then that's your body telling you that you should do it. You know, and like I say, if you want to do something in life, just prove everybody else around and just do it. You know, write yourself a list and say, right, what have I got to do to do it, and just do it, because it will be the making of you. Because I could have gone down the wrong road at one point when I was in high school, and that was about the time that I started racing. And instead of going out right hanging on the streets, I was in the garage streets of my stock car, and it completely put me straight. So yeah, and like sorted out all my issues and everything. So yeah, racing is just do it.
Thank you very much and best of luck.
No, thank you.
Good to hear from Jacqueline there as we get ready for the final for our support formula, the Super Stocks. The green flag goes down from a standing start and we're underway over 25 laps. Number 13, Ashley Crofts, it is who leads them into the first turn. Smaller capacity, 2-litre engine stock cars, these ones on their annual visits to Northampton. We saw them at Wimbledon at the start of the season. They normally race on the tracks of the south and east, such as Ipswich, Arlington and Aldershot, among others. Oh, and spinning out there, Northern Irishman Adam Lockhart has gone in 9.57, facing the wrong way on the home straight. Out go Luke Hamilton and Sarah Cooper there at turn 1, so plenty of hard hits going in the early stages. Adam Lockhart is still stuck there facing the wrong way coming out of turn 4, so the caution flags come out and the race is going to be brought to a halt. Adam Lockhart lucky not to be hit head on there on turn 4. It's Ashley Crofts, number 13, who leads the way. There's number 42, Ad Melisant, the Dutchman. So Adam Lockhart's one of our 2 Northern Irishmen in this race, the other being Lee Davison in number 914. Stuck there, so your leader is Ashley Crofts ahead of Chris Phillips in number 99 at the front of the field. 46 in third place is Sam Reed. So we get back underway then. Somebody slowing there in the pack, which has created a bit of a hole in the field. The first 4 or 5 cars have got away. Sam Reed getting the bumper in at turns 1 and 2. He goes up the inside to take the lead down the back straight. Ad Melisant in there as well in the 42, the Dutchman. Chris Phillips in there too. A terrific 4-way fight developing here. Somebody slowing there on turn 4. Who's that parking up? Well, he's been collected on turn 4. That was Dan Roots in 7.76 who slowed. I didn't quite see who hit him. It may well have been Terry Lawrence. There's 4.82 Jason Cooper, the current world champion, and goodness me, somebody being well and truly launched into the fence there. That is Jake Sturt in 3.54. He certainly has gone in hard, and the caution is going to come out again. That was a very heavy hit for Jake Sturt in 3.54. I didn't see, unfortunately, who put the bumper in on him there. And the car has spun up there. That's 55, which is one of the Walkers. It's Fred Walker in 55, the ex-junior rod champion. Luke Hamilton pulling off as well in car 58. So getting ready for the restart then. 42 Ad Melisant is the man up front. You almost catch the pace car there coming out of turn 4 as we get back underway. Charging for the inside is 5.15 of Jordan Aylward. He's taken the lead, a very rapid move down the inside there going into turn 1. It's 5.15 Jordan Aylward from a very extensive racing family who leads the way. Martin Coles in 5.11 is also up there, ex-Formula 2 stock car racer. He's gone through into second place. Melisant goes down to third, then Fred Walker behind them. He's a lap down. There is the world and British champion, 4.82 Jason Cooper, ex-national hot rod racer. Somebody spun on the inside of turn 4. That's Sarah Cooper, Jason's sister, I think, facing the wrong way as Jason gets the bumper in on 46 of Sam Reed. Fred Walker in there as well. He needs to keep out of the way because he's a lap down after he spun earlier on. Jason Cooper will deal with that, shoves him out wide. Hard-hitting action here on this drying track for the Superstocks on their annual visit to Northampton. I bet some of these drivers wishing they came here more often, not least Jordan Aylward, because he's way out in front in 5.15. See these cars similar in some ways to Formula 2 stock cars, but a much more low-slung design for most of them. Cooper under fire there from Jordan Salmon in number 7, Nick Roots behind them in number 77. The Roots family been racing Superstocks and Formula 2s for many years. Various other formulae as well. Dan Roots, the latest recruit in 776, but he's out of this race. And a tangle there, Ashley Crofts into the wall along with number 5 of Eric Walker. He's recently converted from the non-contact stock rods. Hopefully nobody's going to T-bone him as they come down the home straight. The caution is out straight away. Eric Walker, oh goodness me, that's scary. Fortunately, nobody has hit him sitting across the home straight there. See him, his head turned sideways. His eyes would have been the size of saucers staring at the opposition coming at him there. He was very lucky not to be T-boned. So Eric Walker is okay. We're ready for the restart. Jordan Aylward ahead of Martin Coles. Away we go once again. This incident-packed Superstocks final. Side by side, the third there coming through into third, like Matt Soul in the 490 car in there. Nick Roots it is who's got third though, ahead of Jason Cooper. The race settles back in. Martin Coles with the bumper on the back of the 515 of Jordan Aylward. Tangle there in the middle of turn 4. And Melisant is one of those cars. The other one is Lee Davison in 914, the other Ulsterman. As Jason Cooper draws past Nick Roots, going down the back straights up into third position. Coles and Aylward continuing to duke it out for the lead of this race. It's the best race we've had so far today. Coles, Aylward, Cooper, Roots, and now Terry Lawrence up in 5th place ahead of Simon Hussey in 57. John Saunders and Sam Reed next through. Martin Coles gets some bump up from Jason Cooper. That's allowed Aylward to escape it. We're only halfway through this. A couple of restarts already. Plenty of mayhem. So here comes the 77 of Nick Roots through on the inside, battling Jason Cooper. There behind Coles, battling the 3rd and 4th place. Still your leader is Jordan Aylward in the 515 car. Nick Roots up to 3rd now ahead of Jason Cooper, the world champion. In goes the bumper on the back of the 77 and back up the inside. A textbook overtake there from Cooper back into 3rd place. Jordan Aylward in 515 continues to lead ahead of Martin Coles in 511. 0.2 of a second, and it's Nick Roots still there in 4th behind Jason Cooper. So not too long to go now, only around 7 laps left of this 25-lap race, longest race of the evening for the Superstocks in the sunset here at Northampton. Jason Cooper attacking Martin Coles now. Bumper goes in again, just done the fastest lap of the race as well, and he's through into 2nd place. Chasing now Jordan Aylward for the lead, Jason Cooper. And the world champion catch the 515 car. Turn 4 they come. 5 laps to go, signalled by the start. Chase is on for Jason Cooper. Can he catch our leader? Martin Coles still there in 3rd place. Cooper starting to close the gap. Martin Coles gets bumpered by Nick Roots this time, and he goes down to 4th. Roots up into 3rd place. Jordan Salmon behind them in the number 7. Race quietening down a bit in its closing stages. Still a bit of place swapping going on. 3 laps to go for Jordan Aylward. 2nd place is still Cooper. Not really closing on the 515 car here. Is he running out of steam, I wonder? Things starting to quieten down. Well, Cooper got the quickest lap time of anybody that time through. He's still pushing hard. Oh, Jason Cooper, is he slowing up there? He seems to slow coming out of turn 4. Yes, Cooper's got a problem. Through goes Nick Roots into 2nd place. I saw Jason Cooper's hand go up there. Yes, he's waving them through. So there's some sort of a problem with the 482 car. Through goes Coles into 3rd place. Jordan Salmon into 4th. So it's going to be a win for Jordan Aylward. He's on his last lap now. Down the back straights for the final time. And Jordan Aylward is coming in to take the checkered flag. 515 car takes the win. 2nd place to Nick Roots, Martin Coles in 3rd, Jason Cooper still going but further back in the order. I think he had a misfire in the last few laps there, and that's dropped him down the order, but I think he still finished in the top 10. We'll confirm the results of that one in a second. Good to have the super stocks here. Liveliest race of the night so far, certainly won by Jordan Aylward in the HCD built 515 car. Check the results then, and unfortunately Jordan Aylward adjudged to have jumped one of the restarts, so he's been docked 2 places in the result. Nick Roots therefore inherits the win ahead of Martin Coles. Jordan Aylward docked to 3rd place for jumping a restart. Jason Cooper may have dropped back to 7th with that misfire late on, but he got the fastest lap of that race. Nick Roots though, your race winner. Final time for the Brisca Formula 1 stock cars then, with the sun setting over Northampton International Raceway. There are 26 cars on track for this all-in final, 1 or 2 of them not making it out from the pits. Probably waterlogged given how flooded the pits are here after the earlier rainstorm. So getting ready for our meeting final then. Heat wins for Luke Davidson, Tom Harris and Frankie JJ, but only just ahead of Ben Riley. There's Stuart Smith out in his Shale car today. So slightly off the pace, but you never know. He could still be up there at the sharp end come flag four. Jacqueline Ellis and Richard Davies will lead them away, with Tristan Jackson in there as well. So we're underway with our final, and already Danny Wainman under fire from Stuart Smith. Smith versus Wainman kicking off early. They've had to nearly dispatch both the brothers there at the back of the field. We're underway with Jacqueline Ellis leading the round in 2:19 ahead of Tristan Jackson in 2nd place. Up to 3rd is Sean Webster in number 48. Best finish of 7th, I think, in the heat. Bouncing off the fence there, I think that was George Elwell in 5:01 down the home straight. Tom Harris into turn 1 under tangle there. Ben Riley and Ben Herman, I think that was, with a bit of help from Tom Harris's front bumper. Tricky to see on turns 1 and 2 because of that low sun. The drivers can see where they're going coming into the first turn. Well, makes a change from the rain hammering down, I suppose. Jacqueline Ellis leads the way in 2:19, chased by Sean Webster. Tristan Jackson in 3rd place. Steve Whittle in 4th. Bumper goes in for Webster. He's going to take the lead coming out of turn 2. He goes through. Head of the 2:19 car. Through 1:01 of Tristan Jackson is 3rd. Then it's Whittle. They've broken away from the rest. Sean Webster, the man from Sheffield, it is, who leads the way. Somebody slowing up there on turn 4. Identify who that was. Looking back from Nigel Breen in 4:45. You wonder why the track has turned white on that 3rd and 4th, 1st and 2nd bend, I should say there. That's because of a blown engine in one of the hot rod races earlier on, and a lot of powder had to be took down on the resulting oil slick. So that's why it looks like it's snowed on turns 1 and 2. The centre line, you can see a bit of dust being kicked up there by the race leader, Sean Webster. He's pulled clear of his opposition now, well ahead of Tristan Jackson in 2nd, Whittle 3rd, Ellis 4th, and they're still clear of the rest of the field. Sean Webster, the former saloon stock car world champion, leads the way ahead of Tristan Jackson, doing well once again ahead of Steve Whittle. The Renton superstar not catching up, although Lee Fairhurst has just done the fastest lap of the racing car, 2:17. Going up towards half distance in this 20-lap meeting final. There's a spin there. Who was that? It was a blue grader, I can tell you that. I think it might have been Frankie JJ with the spun there. Tom Harris bouncing off the fence coming out of turn 2, so the track's still slippery. Well, Sean Webster's gone pretty much out of sight of everybody else. He's in the back mark of traffic. We're up to lap Paul Hines in 2:59. Not seeing much of Paul today. Webster continues to lead. There's Lee Fairhurst, the leading superstar grader. Attacking Steve Whittle, the 4th place leader, coming up to lap Danny Colliver in 4:68, and Mark Cooper as well in 2:04. Slices through the middle there on turn 4. The Union flag is out for halfway. Webster continues to lead in the 48. 4:45 Nigel Green battling Tom Harris and Ryan Harrison in 1:97. There you can see the problems with the sun. Race controls on this side of the raceway as well, so they'll be having visibility issues too. Nigel Green under fire from Tom Harris. You can see that powder put down on the oil slick from Chris Crane's National Hot Rod earlier on. Side by side there, Steve Whittle dropping back in 183, and Harris gets the bumper in on Green. He'll go through on turn 2. For another top 3 here, and I don't think they're going to catch Sean Webster. He's way out in front of 48. Tristan Jackson starting to fall back now as well. Lee Fairhurst leading the pursuit of yellow grader Sean Webster. Well, there he is. He's a quarter of a lap or so up on everybody else. I don't think they're going to catch this flying yellow grader to move up the grades over the next few weeks. Points are regraded every month. Drivers receive a new roof colour. They've scored a lot of points, they get moved further back on the grid. 445 Nigel Green attacking Tom Harris. Ryan Harrison behind them in 197. So the former world champion Murray Harrison now does his racing in a formula called UK Modifieds, along with his other son James, Ryan's brother. 3 laps to go then. Sean Webster, Ben Riley there, and Ben Herman. They tangled early on in this race. They're a lap down. Lee Fairhurst in second. Bradley Harrison up in third. He's going well in the 25 car. Not seen too much of Bradley so far this year. Away goes Sean Webster. He's got this race in the bag, barring any mechanical failure. Great stuff from the former saloon stock car start when their world title, I think it was at Taunton, memory serves me right, a few years ago down in the southwest. Sean Webster is heading for victory. Down the back straight for the last time. Here he comes into turns 3 and 4 to take the checkered flag. Sean Webster wins the F1 final. Way ahead of his opposition. I think it'll be Lee Fairhurst second. Confirm the rest of the results in just a moment. The winning margin as they crossed the line there was over 2.5 seconds. Total domination from Sean Webster. Just made the break. So he'd got past Tristan Jackson and Jacqueline Ellis early on there, and then he just cleared off into the sunset, really. Sean Webster taking the win, 2.58 seconds ahead of Lee Fairhurst, with Bradley Harrison third. Fine result for him ahead of Tom Harris, then Nigel Green. Ryan Harrison, the world champion, a quiet race for him, taking 7th. Stuart Smith finished in 10th place. Good to see white grader Tristan Jackson in the top 10 once again. Lee Fairhurst got the fastest lap of the race, the only driver to lap in under 15 seconds.
48 Sean Webster, winner of the final at Northampton. Your first ever final?
Yeah, first one. Nice one.
A hard race, there was a lot of action going on behind you, but you got away from the front and just kept it nice and tidy.
Yeah, just try and keep it calm and just keep doing consistent laps and hope that they don't catch you.
You're getting the hang of the Formula Ones now, coming from the saloons. You look like you're enjoying your racing.
Yeah, slowly. They're hard, it's just learning a bit more, and then you trip up and do something wrong and then learn again. But yeah, we're slowly getting there.
Very good. Now you've got a full lap handicap even in the Grand National.
Yeah, it's nice to have that problem, isn't it?
Good luck.
Yeah, cheers.
Last race of the day then, the brisca F1 Grand National. There are 19 cars on track for this one, including the Waymans, Stuart Smith, Ryan Harrison, Nigel Green, Tom Harris, all the usual suspects in the red and superstar grade. It's 422 Ben Riley at the head of the red top sort with Matt Newson and Paul Hines under the floodlights here at Northampton. No visibility problems with the sun this time, that's sunk below the horizon. We get ready to go racing here for one last time here at Northampton International Raceway, one of the longest serving venues in British stock car racing. It'll host the European Championships in July. And now we get underway over 16 laps with our Grand National events. Away they go. White graders up front, Tristan Jackson and Richard Davies lead the field away. Steve Whittle, the only yellow top, up there in third place. Sean Webster, having won the final, starting from the back of the grid. He didn't go from the lap handicap as Frankie JJ gets dispatched there into the fence, as he did in the start of Heat 1. So with a white or yellow grader winning the final, they can start at the back of the grid rather than from the lap handicap for the Grand National. So that's what Sean Webster has done. Richard Davies, then he couldn't get to the draw on the outside. We've lost Steve Whittle, so it's 101. Tristan Jackson with the lead. I think it might be Luke Davidson up there in second place in 464, going for his second win of the night. Nigel Green renewing his rivalry with Junior Wademan in number 1. Racing Tom Harris, they've got Stuart Smith behind them in 390. On board with Tom Harris, chasing after Ryan Harrison in 197, the bumper going in. It is Luke Davidson in second place, a second behind Tristan Jackson. Bradley Harrison in third place in 25. Let's go 1 or 2 better than his final results. Ryan Harrison gets the lead wide by Tom Harris, he goes through. There are the leaders, Tristan Jackson ahead of Luke Davidson. Bradley Harrison is in third, looks like it's Matt Newson up up into 4th place. He's been the nearly man of the sport, has Matt Newson. He's win at least one major title this year. There's a lot of work behind the scenes, does Matt, with his higher cars, bringing new talent into the sport. He's just done the fastest lap of the race, and he gets the bumper in on Bradley Harrison to go up into 3rd. 5th behind them is Tom Harris. We've got Nigel Green. Ryan Harrison, Frankie Wayman Jr. rather, and Stuart Smith. Bradley Harrison battling with Matt Newson. Here are our leaders. Jackson ahead of Davidson. Luke Davidson won in wet conditions in race 1. See what he can do here on a drier track. Ryan Harrison continuing to scrap with 445 Nigel Green. Davidson trying to make a move for the lead. He's up the inside around turns 1 and 2. He goes through. Davidson into the lead, looking for win number 2 here at Northampton today. The northwest of England starting to pull away now. Jackson, it's Matt Newson in the 16 car up into 3rd. He's got ahead of Bradley Harrison. Then it's Tom Harris, Nigel Green, Ryan Harrison, Junior Wayman, Stuart Smith and Danny Wayman. That's your top 10 as they run just after half distance. This Grand National event. Where is Sean Webster? Not made a lot of progress from the back of the grid as yet. Half distance flag has gone out. We're going into the last 5 shortly. Yes, there's the lap board. Scrapping further back, 390 Stuart Smith in the middle of that, and Sean Webster just on the tail of that group towards the lower reaches of the top 10. I'd say he's just outside the top 10 now. Matt Newson, the quickest man on track. Starting to close on Tristan Jackson now. In fact, I think he's got past Jackson for 2nd place. Yes, he has, because Tom Harris now on the back of the 101 car. Luke Davidson pulling away in the lead. Newson now in 2nd. Harris is up to 3rd. He's got ahead of Tristan Jackson. Leads Richard Davies wide. It's Davidson with the lead. Can Matt Newson catch him? Only a couple of laps to go now. 0.65 of a second in it. Our 2 leaders on the last lap around. 2 laps to run. Davidson from Newson. Harris in 3rd. I think it's just between the leading pair now. There's the leader being delayed momentarily by a back marker. Tristan Jackson fighting back, getting the bumper in on Bradley Harrison there in 25. Harrison, the son of 2011 world champion Paul Harrison. UK's first 4th generation stock car racer, Bradley Harrison. On the final lap now, it's going to be a win for Luke Davidson for the 2nd time this evening. Matt Newson's not going to get close enough to attack him. Davidson wins it. 2nd place Matt Newson, 3rd is Tom Harris. Nice smoke across the line there from Nigel Green, surviving a last bend attack from Ryan Harrison. Well, look at it. Scrap between those 2 all the way through that one. They had a nice little scrap every time they've met this evening. They smoked the tyres in celebration there. They finished in 4th and 5th, I think. It's a win for Luke Davidson, 4.64. 2 wins for him tonight. Davidson, the winner by just under a second ahead of Matt Newson, then Tom Harris. Nigel Green defeating Ryan Harrison for 4th, then Bradley Harrison and the world champion Frankie Wayman Jr. Sean Webster, meanwhile, made it up to 11th place from the back. Well done to Luke Davidson. It was Matt Newson who got the fastest lap. Everybody in that top 10 under 15 this time.
4.64, Luke Davidson won the first race of the day. Now you've won the last one.
Yeah, we I'd have liked to have had that final. We had a bit of bad luck at the start of the final, bent the axle. Got it all fixed for the national and got it going well again and managed to get the win.
Yeah, obviously different conditions from the first race as well. It's dried out now and got a lot faster.
Yeah, obviously we swapped the tyres and that for when it's dried out. It's a lot faster. But yeah, it was a good meeting overall.
And Buxton tomorrow?
Yeah, we're on to Buxton tomorrow. Hopefully grab a few more points. Then we'll get back up to red grade, which we really want to be starting at red. I didn't want to be blue, but it happened to happen.
And best of luck.
Thank you very much.
No idea who that was in the background, but we'll move on to have a look at the points after Northampton. It's still Stuart Smith on the top, well clear of Frankie Wayman Jr., Nigel Green in 3rd place, and Danny Wayman and Tom Harris. Matt Newson moving up into 6th with some good results here at Northampton, and Luke Davidson into the top 12 with his good form here this evening. But still Stuart Smith over 50 points up at the top of the points. So good stuff there from everyone involved here at Northampton International Raceway today, despite the wet conditions. So I can tell you that over £560 was raised for Motorsports for MS. So well done indeed to everyone for donating there. Thanks for watching here at Northampton. Next time we're at Buxton. It's goodbye for now.